Alti.tv.
Welcome back, everyone, to Alti TV's coverage of Not University Mixed Nationals 2021 in collaboration with Hive Ultimate here in Birmingham. You are joining us for the last game of the day between Warwick and Sheffield. Sheffield in yellow, Warwick in red. My name's Luke Burgess, and I am joined by Gigi Morrison for what should be an extremely exciting matchup.
Yeah, this should be a fantastic game. We've got two very strong sides, both the first and the second seeds within their pool. We do have some numbers, thankfully. But yeah, both of these teams, so Sheffield and Warwick, have quite a deep level of club experience as well as university experience. People coming from quite a few different university backgrounds as well, so some people having stuck with just the single university, some people having transferred from other unis, so this is going to be a really good game, a whole wealth of experience.
Indeed. As we see Warwick playing one-to-one defense and Sheffield playing vert stack, very much sticking to the University Ultimate metagame. So Sheffield with a confident cut from the back of the stack to open up the possession. Moving around the back now. Swing to the far side. Disc goes high and Warwick get the block. Number 14, Graham Kemp, gets fingertips to that and tips it over the intended receiver. As Poole finds Kemp. Back to Poole. Far side to Spence. As the stall count rises and Warwick can't find a target downfield. Offense was looking good for a few passes, but not able to convert. Sheffield immediately shoot deep, but that disc just fades away to the far side. Does Warwick get another chance to get a break on the first point of this game? Poole will pick up. Finds McCullough. Swing to this near side. Finds a receiver in field, forehand into the middle of the pitch. Gets the around backhand, and now a deep shot into the end zone. It's floating, defender's there. Defender has the read, has the height. And it wasn't a terrible decision, but this just floated a bit too high. The Sheffield immediately shoot deep. Once again, Warwick paying absolutely no respect to Sheffield's deep game. So Warwick not being punished for this aggressive no under defense. As Poole picks up once again. Goes to the far side. Backhand down the line. There's a forehand. Deep to McCullough. No options in the end zone immediately. Looks for the reset. Just a little bit too far for Burns. So Sheffield with another chance to put in their first point of the game. Looks off the end zone shot. Tries to find a reset, but good handler defense. And a foul is called. Perhaps a bit too physical. But Sheffield will maintain possession. Goes with the high lefty. Immediate roll curve back into the end zone. Gets a hand to it, but just bounces out. It's unfortunate for Sheffield. It's the best look they've had so far. So Poole has McCullough isolated at the back of the stack. Finds the swing. Upfield. Looking for a reset. It's good handler cutting. Disc on the far side now. Forehand, upfield. Has an under. Finds it. Deep shot available now. Not a big channel to throw in, but finds the receiver. So good showing from Warwick in this first point. Managed to grind out a few turnovers and punch in the break.
Warwick definitely showing that they can be a little bit more clinical than Sheffield. Definitely running a fair few structured offenses and putting on the pressure for defense, but Sheffield just they definitely have it, but it's maybe a second too early, or it's just a little too much too soon. I'm not sure whether it's the pressure of the game or whether it's just them having to warm up into it, but definitely on defense you can see how much potential that they have.
So Sheffield needing to punch in this offensive point to stay level in this game. Already down a break. Finds the upline. Finds an infield forehand. Sheffield continuing with their vertical stack offense. So they reset. Finds the forehand upfield in space. There's a shot to the end zone. There are defenders in the way, but reels it in anyway. Huge grab in the end zone. And Sheffield punching that offensive point without turning over. And Warwick will have to think up something else to do on defense. Sheffield did not look too keen on giving the disc away on that possession. So a good pull from Sheffield as they try and get a break back. Warwick looking for a few IO forehand breaks to start off the possession, but the second one just bounces out of the hands of Kemp. And Sheffield get that break opportunity. Finds a receiver from the front of the stack, fakes the hammer. Looks for the up line, but just overthrown. And Warwick. So Warwick in possession now. Kemp. Finds McCullough. There's a few options downfield, but the disc just sails past Aspin. Sheffield now. Finds a forehand. Upfield. Another up line. Looking briefly for the hammer, but goes instead for the swing. Nice high release. Lefty backhand break. And Yorworth got a hand to it, but perhaps a bit too late. As the players discuss whether or not this was a strip. So uncontested strip. Sheffield will maintain possession. High release backhand break. Finds a receiver in the near corner. And Sheffield break back to bring us back to trading.
Yeah, Sheffield have definitely found their groove now. Maybe noticing that as soon as they kind of need to take an extra second, take a little bit of a breath, that they've got plenty of options to work for. You don't have to throw it off the first opportunity. As fun as it is to be able to do that, it is sometimes just a little bit more wise to take your time. That was Helen Thompson with the assist. So Helen Thompson is currently studying a PhD at the University of Sheffield in archaeology. She initially started playing in Canada. She is Canadian, but has come across the UK with her sister Becky. I'm not sure if they actually came together or whether they came separately. They are living in separate parts of the country. Becky is living in London and playing with Iceni currently. Helen with Smog.
So a decent pull from Sheffield. As Warwick play out of their vertical stack once again. Spence. Dumps to Wilson. Back to Spence, back to Wilson. Looking for options downfield. Goes for the IO break, but sails past the intended receiver. Yeah, so Poole may have reeled this in, but there will be some discussion. So the call is down, and Sheffield will get their first opportunity to go break up. Third stack once again. Cut from the back is found. Looking for the handler, dancing around a little bit, but it's bailed out by a cutter from the stack. Goes for the swing. Looks for the break side, and there it is. Sheffield punch it in at the front of the end zone and go 3-1 up. So pull sails out of bounds for Sheffield. Warwick will opt for the brick. So Warwick not able to find any options in the stack, goes for the lead pass IO forehand. Quite a tricky throw in a tight space. And they do turn over. So Sheffield now, 2 cuts out of the back to the same side. They will opt to swing instead. Finds the under. Nice upline cut. Just a few meters outside the end zone now for Sheffield. So they go for the swing. Had a receiver on the far side, but didn't want to go for the break, and instead the roll curve forehand to the near corner, almost reeled in by Spence, but couldn't quite get there in time. Sheffield bobble the disc, but ultimately get the score and go 4-1 up.
Okay, so this is the final game for today. And I believe this might be the final pool/round robin game for these teams. They'll be moving into bracket play for tomorrow. So all games this weekend, except for the final, cap at 13 with half at 7. But the final is to 15 with half at 8.
So another bricks ball for Sheffield. As Warwick transition to a horizontal stack for the first time this game. So they find an under and then another to this near side. Jones with the disc. Has Poole up line. McCullough. Back to Poole. Finds Jones. On this near side, looking for something downfield. Goes back to Poole. Jones to Poole once again. Not quite in the end zone though. But there's the forehand up line, and Yarworth just couldn't reel it in. Bounced out of the hands. Such a strong offensive showing from Warwick.
Yeah, Hannah Yarworth, another one of the more experienced players on this team. She's played quite a few cycles of GB now. And playing for Spice Ultimate, I believe.
Sheffield go for the deep shot, but right at the end, sails out of bounds. Faded IO rather than roll curve. So Warwick will get another opportunity to punch in their second point of the game. Poole fielding the disc. Has a go with infield. But Sheffield immediately get the block and immediately punch in the score. It's an interesting choice of spike. But Sheffield do go up 5-1.
See, I'm a fan of that spike. It's a nice little soft one where you're just like, whee! It's a much more whimsical spike rather than just like aggressive and in your face. And Ah, I wasn't expecting that. Felix agrees with me. I was expecting you to agree with the aggressive grr spike.
It's like, what are you trying to prove? And it doesn't fit anything. It's just weird aggro stuff that we get from America.
Weird aggro stuff that we get from America. I couldn't agree more. That was Samantha Chu with the assist, another Smog player. I'm just going to shout out Smog as much as I can because it's great. Got a nice little timeout call. Believe, is it Warwick that called the timeout? It would make sense if it was.
So we will take this opportunity to, for one last time today, encourage you all to subscribe to Hive Ultimate on YouTube, as well as UltiTV on YouTube, and head over to patreon.com/UltiTV to help financially support these broadcasts, help us cover more events, bring high quality coverage at each event. Plenty more tournaments being covered by UltiTV this summer, and we would greatly appreciate any support you can give. So nice pull from Sheffield to get us back underway. Yarworth with the disc for Warwick. Goes cross field to Brian Boys. Upfield to Spence. Back to Yarworth. Kemp now. Wilson. Back to Kemp. Brian Boys with the disc on the far sideline. Tries to find Yarworth, but run through block from Sheffield. Really nice defensive play. Saw the pass coming, accelerated early, got the block. Sheffield find themselves in the middle of the pitch. High release over the top, but intercepted by Wilson. Finds Yarworth. Wilson. Shoots deep, looking for Kemp, but the disc is floating. But good read from Kemp, lands just about in bounds. And Warwick get their second point of the game.
That was a bit more the clinical play from Warwick that we saw in the first point. Hopefully they're reining it in a little bit more, maybe just thinking about the cuts they need to make, watching the disc into their hands. Although that last little bladey shot into the end zone that we're getting a replay of was maybe not the best option. Could have been maybe a slightly different throw. I just want to highlight one of the players on the Warwick team. Jasmine Bryan Boys is playing with the Mesh Project. So the UKU Mesh Project is the Minority Ethnic Showcase Project, which was set up by the UKU Diversity, Equity and Inclusion Committee. And this was done to highlight talent amongst minority ethnic groups in UK Ultimate. So they've gathered a bunch of players across the UK to develop a showcase game to really, again, really just highlight the talent and to hopefully provide better opportunities for players that might not have the same opportunities that white players do in UK Ultimate. So it's a fantastic project. You can find them on Instagram. It's UKU_mesh. They've got a big fundraiser project that really would appreciate the support.
So Sheffield looking confident on offense as they find the IO break to punch in their 6th point of the game. Looked very comfortable, that possession. Warwick never really getting too close to a block. Textbook ultimate from Sheffield. So, GG, are we adding that to the worst pull of the weekend competition?
It is probably, as it stands, the worst pull of the weekend. We haven't had a boomerang pull yet. I'm waiting for that, though.
Well, we had a kind of boomerang pull on one of the first games that went out over the right side of the pitch. But this is completely still conditions. So maybe, given the conditions, probably the worst pull. But put your votes in the chat for worst pull of the weekend. We F's in the chat for the pull, yeah. But nice possession from Warwick. Punch it in. Clean offense and good work from Poole to toe that in at the front corner. So they bring the score to 6-3. So Sheffield bring in the disc on the sideline. Finds the IO forehand upfield. Looking for the swing. No continuation on the far side, but a nice IO forehand break. and finds a receiver in the end zone, but just can't quite keep hold of the disc with one hand. And Warwick will get an opportunity to bring this to a 2-point game. Wilson. Over to Asplin. Well-timed continuation cuts from Warwick. Karanash is concerned about the disc. So the disc has been replaced and play resumes. Kemp with the disc now. Finds Wilson. Shooting deep to Kemp. It's sitting nicely in the end zone and Kemp runs it down comfortably. And Warwick get their 4th point of the game.
Yeah, I think the rules on the disc is it has to be like torn or like studded or cracked or split. I think just I think it might even specifically say if it's just bent. Folded is definitely in there as well, if it's folded. But that was just tachoed. Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's kind of like if you can't bend it back, maybe that counts. But it's one of those things like, you know, if your offense bends the disc, that's tough luck. If you have to lay out, you don't get to the stool, you know, you don't get like extra seconds on the stool count so you can stand up. It's that kind of thing, you know. It's part of the balance of the game.
Wise words from Felix Shradlow. Hannah Yorworth with a pretty fantastic pull. Sheffield just dribbling down the pitch. Stuck on the sideline. Looking to centre.
So tight defensive pressure from Warwick, making Sheffield work for each of these passes. But Sheffield are finding receivers. It's a pop pass back to the handler. Doesn't have anyone else back with them, but there's the IO forehand into the end zone. Nice break throw. Sheffield just punishing Warwick's marks every single time. Finding goal after goal with those IO forehand breaks. And they will take half, 7-4. All right, so the disc stoppage rule, for those of you who are interested, which I appreciate is none of you, but I'm going to read it anyway. So rule 19.2.2 of the 2020 version of the WIFTF rules, the thrower may call a technical stoppage during play to replace a severely damaged disc. And a severely damaged disc is one that is cracked, torn, deeply gouged, creased, punctured, or badly warped. A slightly warped, wet, or dirty disc does not qualify. However, an existing stoppage may be extended to correct a warped disc. So there we are. You can't just randomly call a stoppage to replace a disc that you don't like.
But then how do you define slightly to very warped? Because one person's slightly warped disc is another person's very warped disc.
I think the only resolution is to call a spirit timeout and get everyone on both teams to discuss it and reach a consensus before play begins. I think that's entirely reasonable. But if the players on pitch feel like this needs to be replaced, maybe it's fine. So, Warwick on offense to start this half. As McCullough shoots deep, looking for Wilson, who reels it in, jumps up over the defender, and finishes off with a nice casual spike.
Yeah, that was another soft little spike. Still with some level of attitude, but it's soft enough that it's not going to damage the disc. That's when I kind of have issues with spiking, is that if you're going to deliberately cause damage to the disc, even if it's your own, why are you doing it? Why are you causing damage to property? Yeah, Warwick now having brought the score up to 7-4. Starting to move into the latter part of the game. We've got 15 minutes left of gameplay.
So nice floaty pull from Warwick. Sheffield set up their vertical stack offense once again. Rolly swing to the centre handler. Huge layout grab. Let's keep the disc alive. Finds the upline. Cross-field shot. Two players running for it. Wilson's there, though. Gets the block. Had their head up. Reading the play. Spence, sorry, not Wilson. So Warwick with the disc on their own corner. Poole tries to advance to Karanash, but Sheffield with the run through D. Looking to convert. Just 2 meters to go. There's the around backhand. Pops it out into space. And Sheffield reel it in on the second time of asking. Bring us to an 8-5 game.
Yeah, that was the same receiver that was trying to be found from the massive around shot from Thompson. But their defender is just a little bit too fast. But upon the second attempt, managed to get it. I noticed that the layout grab just closest to our end zone line here by the camera from the Sheffield player. When they caught the disc, they immediately checked if their defender was okay, rather than just looking downfield. And I think that's fantastic. I love that kind of play sometimes. We switched to commentator cam because Felix is having a good old clean of the camera. Or making it dirtier, depending on which way you want to look at it.
So the weather's cleared up nicely for this game, turning into a lovely evening here in Birmingham. So Warwick on offense. Jones finds Elworth. Shoots deep. Just 2 meters to go. Goes for the around backhand, but can't quite find the receiver. Disc just slipped out of the hand. Another break opportunity for Sheffield. Vertical stack once again. Deep cut from the back. Not thrown to. Instead finds the under. Goes for the swing. Looking for the around. Finds it. Up line backhand in a power position. There's the back into the end zone. And the defender was so close. Kemp almost had a hand on the disc, but Sheffield do reel it in and get the break and go up 9-5. So, Warwick on offense once again. Wilson finds Elworth. McCullough. Spence. Karanash. Yarworth. Brian Boys on the near side. About 10 meters out the end zone. Looks for the swing to Yarworth. Yarworth shooting to the end zone. Io backhand. Finds the target. McCullough just had to jog onto that disc. And Warwick find their 6th point of the game.
A lovely shot from Yorworth into the end zone. We get a nice little replay. You can see the shoulder shimmy that she opted for in order to move her force out of the way to get a wonderfully clean inside shot. Sun's really coming out now. Neither of us have sunglasses. We didn't actually think to pack anything like that. Oh, you have sunglasses. I'm the stupid one. That's great.
Yeah. Let's commentate again. Felix, we need to commentate again.
And we're missing the frisbee. Classic.
So Sheffield, immediate deep shot. Does not find the target as the sun goes back behind the clouds. So Warwick with a chance to punch in a break. But the disc was just a bit too low for McCullough. And Sheffield looking for a break side option, but Poole is there on defense. Spence now. Goes back to Asplin. Poole. Gets Asplin to cut up line and finds Jones. Spence. McCullough. Around to Spence. Jones now. Hammer into the end zone. Finds McCullough. And brings the score to 9-7.
Sheffield quite wisely opting to take their time in setting up the line. The 9-7 up. Hooter is about to go off, so it's final possession after the hooter goes off. And that's that. Sheffield are going to win the game. Let's see what they've got for this final offense.
Maybe they will take a page from Noah's playbook and just yeet it out the side of the pitch. No, they're actually trying to play the possession out. Nice high release backhand break. Nice swing to the far side. Has an option underneath, but goes for the swing instead. Goes for an upline cut. Gets thrown to slightly late, but finds the target anyway. And another high release break, this time with the left hand. Sheffield punch in their last possession and finish the game 10-7.
Both teams having been quite clinical in their offense. Although Warwick had a bit of a hiccup towards the middle of the game where Sheffield really just capitalised on that, ran with it, and managed to come back with a lead. Sheffield winning 10-7. That was our final game for today. Please do make sure you tune in tomorrow. Our first game is at 8:30.
Yep, do hope you've enjoyed today's coverage. And make sure to hit subscribe on both Hive Ultimate and Ulti TV, and we will see you all again tomorrow.
alti.tv.